A lot about Nick Saban is the one and only Paul Finebaum. Paul! For those who know Paul and I's relationship, you know that this means a lot to us right now. Paul, try not to get emotional, but we will, instead of talking about that, we'll talk about what we always talk about, which is Nick Saban. Do you think he should be the highest paid coach in college football, and why is he worth it?
First of all, Laura, I get more emotional talking about Saban than the two of us. I think it's outrageous that he's making only $75 million. And I say only $75 million over however many years, because Nick Saban is worth more than that. Just think about this for a second. What he has done at the University of Alabama in transforming a once great program that was dormant when he took over to the singular best program in the country. If you put Nick Saban down the street from where you people currently are on Wall Street, and if he was leading a Fortune 500 company with the same results on the New York Stock Exchange, he would be making more than $50 million a year. I mean, just look around at what corporate execs are making, and he's better than those people. There are no scandals associated with him. And so I don't think it's outrageous at all to say he should be making $50 million a year. Now, would that set a bad example in college athletics? Well, what difference does it really make? But he's worth that. And another reason, Laura and Greeny and everyone, that he's getting this contract now is that he is going to be 67 years old on Halloween. And he was also about to have the biggest recruiting summer weekend of the year. So the school wants to put all the fires out. He's got Jimbo Fisher to the west. He's got Kirby Smart to the east, people that are recruiting against his age, people that used to work for him. So that was the biggest part of this, not the money.
I'd be curious if anyone at our table disagrees, because there is something in the optics of college coaches getting paid that much money and the players not getting paid anything that I know rubs people the wrong way. But the way to address that is dealing with the players, not dealing with the coaches. I fully agree with what Paul is saying. If there is no amount of money you could pay Nick Saban, as far as I'm concerned, that would be too much. He is the very best at something that is extraordinarily valuable, that brings a lot of value to the institution he works for, financially and beyond. So I have zero issue with it. Does anyone? I'm just curious if anyone disagrees.
Not at all.
No issues at all, but you alluded to the point is the optics tend to be bad when you see the headline.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't think sports is as important as we do. So when you see a college coach making that level of finance, it's going to have some people raise their eyebrows.
Yeah, but then, Paul, to the point that Jalen is making, there's an enormous amount of not only good feeling that comes from having a good football program, right, but there's a whole lot of money that comes from having a football program like the one that they had.
Well, I want you guys and Laura to go back, because I lived through it. I lived in Birmingham at the time. When the day that Nick Saban was hired, people at this network and across the street just castigated him. They called him a liar. They called him someone that wouldn't be there more than 2 or 3 years. And it is just remarkable to think that he has stayed there this time. And listen, he could have gone anywhere many, many times over. The Giants wanted him. Everyone else in the NFL wanted him, maybe in the NBA for all I know. And he has stayed there.
I don't know about that, Paul.
Well, hey, Saban can play basketball. I'm sure you know that for a 66-year-old man. But the point is that he has transformed not only that conference, that team, but the conference of the SEC as well. And I think he's elevated the bar for college football. Nick Saban, in many ways, is to college football what Bill Belichick is to the NFL. We haven't seen many people like this. Yeah, the NBA has its coaches throughout the years that have been dominant, Pop and Phil Jackson and Kerr and you name it. But the NFL has been void in that area for many, many years, as well as college football has. And one other thing, Saban didn't inherit a very good situation. He replaced Mike Shula, who, guess what, replaced Mike Price, who never coached a game. He got fired because he was out late at night at a strip club. And he replaced Dennis Franchione, who replaced Mike DuBose. I mean, he was replacing a bunch of losers at Alabama yet. I mean, this is Notre Dame if you're in the Midwest. I mean, that's a big deal.